We just bought this secondhand Kenmore oven in as-is condition from a local appliance company. They stated they couldn't quite figure out what was wrong with it, so if we can figure it out, we'll be able to give it away to a family in need that can't afford one. So let's plug it in and see what's going on. So the unit does power on. First, I want to make sure we can navigate the menus and that all the buttons respond properly. Now, we don't have a gas line in this building, so we won't be able to hook it up to the oven to do a full with gas test, but it is very rare for the gas line to actually have any issues because it is made out of very strong steel. So unless there's obvious physical damage, usually they're okay. Now, I've already done a visual inspection, confirmed that the gas line for this oven is in good condition, so we can go ahead and rule that out. Now, something that does commonly fail, however, is the igniters. So we'll first start by checking the igniters for the stovetop. Everything seems to be working on the stovetop side of things. So next, let's go ahead and check the bake and broil elements for the oven. And I just heard the relay engage. When the igniter turns on, we should see an orange glow coming from that hole there. And we're starting to see it. Yep, it's getting stronger. So that does confirm that the igniter is turning on. And it's even more obvious on this side since we don't have the light. If I turn off the oven, yep, slowly fades away. Let's do the same for the broil. And that's gonna be at the top here. Okay, I can kind of see it all the way in the back. Yeah, there we go. That one's more obvious to see. And for further proof, we're gonna use our thermal camera to show you the heat. So that does show we're almost at 200 degrees Celsius, confirming that the igniter is indeed on. So it does seem like everything is working properly, but we knew it wasn't going to be an obvious issue. Otherwise, the appliance store would have fixed it themselves and sold the oven for about $200 to $300. Now, often when we see intermittent problems, which is most likely the case here, it is going to be coming from the controller board. So let's take it out and take a closer look at it. Now, for this step, you always want to disconnect power first before we take anything apart. We're going to remove these screws to the top panel. We'll skip this one for now. And now you want to be careful when removing this last one. I'm going to support the sheet metal, which is very sharp, as I unscrew it. Now that we've exposed the controller board, let's remove it next. And it looks like ours is damaged slightly because we're missing one of the mounting screws. So let's be gentle. We'll wiggle the cable out. So in order to take a closer look at the controller board, we're going to want to go ahead and remove it from the case. The areas that I want to inspect more closely are typically going to be the areas of high power. So those are going to be the areas where the wires come in with the connector here, the transformer, and the relays. Now for this part, we're going to switch over to the microscope. And we're going to start by inspecting the connector. And we can see actually there is the beginning of a crack right there. We can see a small amount of separation there on this dark line and over here as well. And if we look at the other joints, for the most part, the rest look good. Oh, this one definitely has a crack starting. Yeah, we can also see separation starting here. So right there. Let's keep looking. We're seeing it on this one here as well. It's faint, and it's probably not a problem right now, but it will be in the future if we don't address it. Keep looking. Okay, these guys are actually really bad. So these last two are actually the worst. We can clearly see separation happening here. And on this one, it looks like pretty much 100% of the joint, we have heavy separation here. The reason we are using our microscope and doing such an in-depth close check on a lot of our solder joints is because cracked solder joints is one of the most common issues we see with these oven controller boards. The reason is because the igniters, the oven, broil, they all require a decent amount of power, which when that power goes through those lines, it does create heat, which creates expansion, and when it's turned off, it contracts as it cools down. That expansion and contraction is what tires out the joints and causes those microfractures, which eventually become larger and larger like we just saw on this controller board. Okay, let's go ahead and check out the transformer next. Here are two legs of the transformer, which I don't see a full crack, but I definitely see some stress. And it looks like we're starting to see a ring, but I don't see that separation that we were seeing on the other. It's definitely getting stressed and it definitely needs to be addressed, but it's not as bad as the other connector we were looking at. This joint looks pretty good. And let's check the other side of the transformer over here. Okay, we're seeing a little bit more stress there and here. And on this one, okay, we're starting to see separation. Let's zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, we're seeing separation starting. So whenever we see those darker spots, that's actually little holes in the solder joint. And we're seeing it almost on 100% of that joint. Okay, so that does confirm that the transformer also will need to be reflowed. We'll need to reinforce those solder joints. Okay, and over here we have some of our relay joints. These look okay. Don't see an issue there. Don't see an issue there. This one looks okay. That looks okay. That's okay, that's okay, that's okay. And we have one more over here. That one looks a little stressed, but it looks like a no connect, so we don't have to worry about it. That looks okay. That looks okay. Okay, and okay. After doing this visual inspection with our microscope, I am more confident that the issue is indeed with our oven controller board because of those severely cracked joints we saw. So we have the one on the transformer we'll have to touch up, as well as several on that connector over here. So for the reflow process, we're going to go ahead and add some flux to our joints. And next we can go ahead and just add a smidge of new fresh solder. If you have a defective controller board you would like to send us for repair, we do offer flat rate services which come with a 1-year warranty. For more information, check out our website linked in the video description below. Okay, that was the connectors. Let's go ahead and do the transformer next. And actually, you know what? I just realized at this angle, we can see full separation over here. After I added the flux, it's even more obvious. So this is one of our transformer legs. I think this probably was the full culprit. Wow, yeah. At the right angle, you can see a lot of separation on that joint, and it's definitely cracked. It looks more obvious depending on how close or far away we are and at the angle we're looking at it. So that kind of tells me that we might have actually had an issue with power, and that would have been because of the transformer joints here that we're touching up. Yeah, the issue is the rep at the appliance store did not know exactly what was going on. Oh my God, yeah, look at that. He didn't know exactly what the issue was. All he knew was that they didn't know what was wrong with it and that it was some sort of intermittent problem. But after doing this repair, I'm quite confident that the issue they were experiencing was a no power, because whenever that transformer loses connection with the board, the rest of the board can't get power at all. And that's what powers it on. So most likely they had a dead no power. If you have an oven with a dead no power fault, check out the transformer joints. That might be your issue. Next, we're going to do a quick cleanup with isopropyl alcohol and a Q-tip to remove that excess flux we added. We'll put the controller board back together next and install it back into the oven. And that completes our refurbishment process for this Kenmore oven. We also did actually find a family locally here in Tucson looking for a gas oven before Christmas, so we'll be able to help them out there. If you like this type of content, let us know in the comments below. Otherwise, if you found the video helpful or useful, leave us a like, subscribe for more, and thanks for watching.